home of Tennessee's best newscast. This is News Channel 11 at 11.
For the first time, we're hearing from the family of a Greeneville man who drowned on the Nolichucky River just yesterday. Good evening, I'm Sarah Diamond. Josh Smith is off tonight. It happened just after 4 o'clock at Bird's Bridge in Greeneville. Sheriff Pat Hankins tells us they received a call of a woman needing help. This man, Christopher Keplinger, jumped in to help save his girlfriend and her child, but he went underwater and never resurfaced. News Channel 11's Justin Soto is here tonight with that story. And Justin, you spoke with this family. Just a tragic time for them. How are they doing?
Sure was very tragic, Sarah, and as you can imagine, they're still grieving tonight and their emotions are still very raw, but they wanted to get his story out there, telling me he was a loving father and a man who really would help anyone.
This is Chris here then, about 16 years ago.
Janice Jones takes us back through her son Christopher Keplinger's younger years.
Him and his twin brother and her, they were always into things.
A curious child who she says grew up to be a giver.
He was always willing to help people, always on the go, hyper.
Jones saw her son on Sunday just before he drowned on the Nolichucky. Their last conversation.
They had come by the store where I work at about 30 minutes to an hour before it happened. And, you know, I told him, I said, don't go down there. You're not a good swimmer, don't go down there. And Mom, it'll be okay. And then I seen on Facebook that there was an accident at the river, and I pretty much knew.
The group was hanging out here on Sunday near Bird's Bridge along the Nolichucky River when all of a sudden, Keplinger's girlfriend's float got caught underneath the current, causing her and her daughter to fall out. That's when Keplinger went in to try to help, but he didn't make it. It's an act of heroism his mom was not surprised to hear.
That's him.
He left the way you wanted to.
That's typical of him. He was always ready to help people and willing to help people. It just proves that he had somebody else's interest, you know, before his own at that point in time.
And she's grateful for one thing.
At least we left on good terms, you know, and I got to tell him I loved him.
Jones is well aware of the dangers on the Nolichucky.
I've never wanted my kids. I've always told them to avoid it, and I've always told everyone to avoid it.
The sheriff praising Keplinger, but with a message of safety.
It was heroic, but unfortunately he didn't have a life jacket on, and if you can't swim, you need to use caution.
Now, Justin, there is the 2-year-old that was involved in this. How is she doing?
That's the good news tonight. We're learning from the family that she is out of the hospital and she's expected to be okay.
That is wonderful news. And you talked to the sheriff and said it's so important to be safe, especially since we've had a lot of rain on any body of water.
Yep, that's the takeaway tonight. The sheriff says, you know, during this kind of incident, you really should have a life jacket on any time when you're on the river. Definitely have a life jacket.
All right, Justin Soto with the update tonight. Thanks, Justin.